I'll never forget the night my family and I decided to go camping deep in the woods. It was supposed to be just another normal weekend trip. Me, my wife Anna, my 10-year-old son Lucas, and my 13-year-old daughter Emily. We wanted to avoid crowded campgrounds, so we picked a forest that wasn't very well known, somewhere quiet, away from people. By evening, we set up camp in a small clearing. We built a fire. The kids were roasting marshmallows, Anna was telling stories. Everything felt perfect. But that peace didn't last long. Once the night grew darker and the forest fell silent, I heard it for the first time. A whisper. Not the wind, not an animal. A human whisper. "Hello." I immediately turned on my flashlight, scanning the trees around us. Nothing. Anna told me I was imagining things. But then, Emily spoke up from across the fire. "Dad, I heard it too." We all went completely silent. The only sound left was the fire crackling. And then it came again, this time clearer. "Lucas." My son froze. His eyes went wide with fear. "Dad, someone just said my name." My heart started pounding. I stood up, shined my light into the trees. Nothing but endless darkness. But I had heard it too. Someone, or something, had called out my son's name. It was around 1 a.m. None of us were laughing anymore. The kids were holding each other, trembling. Then footsteps. Soft, deliberate footsteps circling our camp. I swung the flashlight in every direction. For a split second, I could swear I saw dark figures moving just beyond the light's reach. But whenever the beam hit them, they vanished. Emily whispered, terrified, "They're walking around us." Anna gave me a look I'll never forget, one that said, "Get us out of here." Now the whispers came back, but this time, not just one. Multiple voices, men, women, even children, all whispering at once. "Leave! Leave now! They're ours! Lucas! Emily!" I covered my ears, but the whispers weren't coming from outside anymore. They were inside my head. Lucas started crying. "Dad, I don't want to be here. Please take us home." But where could we go? The forest was endless darkness in every direction. I decided we should put out the fire and hide inside the tents. Maybe if we stayed quiet, whatever was out there would leave us alone. But as I threw dirt on the flames, something impossible happened. Instead of dying, the fire roared higher. And for just a moment, inside the flames, I saw faces. Twisted, blackened faces with hollow eyes screaming silently from within the fire. I stumbled back. "Anna, don't look!" But it was too late. She saw them, and so did the kids. By then, it was 1:30 a.m. We decided to wait it out until morning. Inside the tent, the kids clung to me. I kept telling them everything would be okay. At some point, I blinked, just for a moment. When I opened my eyes, the clock read 4:15 a.m. 3 hours. Gone. None of us had slept. None of us remembered anything. But somehow, time had vanished. Anna whispered to me, shaking, "They're playing with us." Before dawn, strange noises outside pulled me from the tent. On the ground in the damp dirt were footprints, not human. They were elongated, twisted, some small like a child's, others large like an adult's, and they circled our tent, dozens of them, as if something, or many things, had been watching us all night. Just before sunrise, Emily suddenly screamed. We rushed out to find her staring into the tree line. "Someone's calling me," she whispered. "No," I told her firmly, "don't listen." But then we all heard it. "Emily," she started walking forward. I grabbed her arm, but with a strength that shocked me, she tore free. She walked straight into the woods. We ran after her, but she vanished into the trees. The last thing we heard was her scream, then silence. Anna collapsed, sobbing. I wanted to break down too, but I knew we had to protect Lucas. That's when the whispers returned. "Leave one. Take one. The boy, the girl." My blood ran cold. They were bargaining with us. We grabbed what we could and tried to run. But in the trees they appeared again. Tall, thin silhouettes. No eyes, no faces. But we knew they were watching us. Lucas clung to my leg. "Dad, they're waiting for me." I picked him up and sprinted, Anna running beside me. Finally, through the trees, we saw it. A road. We thought we were saved. But as we stepped onto the pavement, I froze. A wooden sign stood at the edge of the road. "Welcome to Whispering Pines Campground." It was the exact same sign we'd seen when we arrived. We had never escaped. Anna broke down completely. She dropped to the ground and sobbed. "They won't let us go. Not all of us." I held Lucas tightly. The whispers came closer, surrounding us. "Us, choose. Leave one behind." Tears blurred my vision. I screamed into the trees. "Take me. Just let them go." For a moment, the forest fell silent. Then the wind picked up violently. Anna and Lucas screamed as something pulled me backward into the dark. When I woke up, it was daylight. I was lying beside the burnt-out campfire. Anna, Lucas, Emily, gone. The tents, the supplies, gone. I ran through the woods like a madman, searching, screaming, but there was nothing. Eventually, I stumbled onto a highway and was picked up by passing drivers. When I told the police what happened, they looked at me like I was insane. They said no family had checked into that forest. No record of Anna, Emily, or Lucas ever entering. But I know what I saw. I know what took them. Years have passed since that night, but the whispers never left me. Sometimes, late at night, I'll hear them right outside my window. "Daddy, come back." I know it isn't them. It's the same thing that lives in those woods, the same voices that stole my family. And I know sooner or later, they'll take me back too. This wasn't just a camping trip gone wrong. It was a reminder that some forests, some places, were never meant for us. So if you ever come across a place with a name like Whispering Pines or Silent Campground, don't stop. Don't even go near it, because beyond the firelight, something is always watching. This happened about 4 years ago. Me and 3 of my college friends, Ryan, Chris, and Matt, planned a weekend hiking trip. Ryan had this old map, something his grandfather once gave him, with a hidden trail marked on it. We thought it would be an epic adventure, a secret trail, one that not many people knew about. We started early Friday morning. At first, everything felt perfect. Jokes, laughter, music, and the fresh air of the woods. But the deeper we went, the quieter everything became. No birds, no wind, just a dead, heavy silence. By noon, the trail markings on the map completely vanished. The path ahead was nothing but dense, endless trees. Chris laughed it off. "Chill, guys, this just makes it more exciting. We'll camp anywhere we want." We tried to keep the mood light, but uneasiness had already set in. By evening, we found a clearing and set up camp. That first night seemed normal. We lit a fire, cooked, shared stories. But around 2 a.m., I suddenly woke up. I swore I heard footsteps circling our tents. Soft, dragging, almost like bare feet sliding against the ground. I grabbed my flashlight and stepped out, but there was nothing. Just still trees staring back at me. I convinced myself it was nothing more than paranoia. The next morning we packed up and moved on. After an hour of hiking, we realized something terrifying. We were back at the same exact clearing. Confused, we tried another direction. 3 hours later, we ended up right back at our campsite. Our faces turned pale. Ryan whispered, This isn't possible. We're walking in circles." That evening, I noticed something carved into a tree. A circle with an eye in the center. Matt shrugged. Maybe some other hikers marked the trail. But as we kept moving, those symbols appeared on more trees, freshly carved. It felt like something, or someone, was marking the path for us. That second night was the worst. As we tried to sleep, whispers drifted from the trees. Low, soft, but clear. "They don't belong here. Keep them." I sat up and shouted, "Who's there?" The whispering stopped, and then, right outside the tent, a voice chuckled, "Lost ones." My blood froze. At sunrise, we decided to keep walking, no matter where. We just wanted out. But not long after, Matt fell behind. We called for him, but there was no answer. Running back, we found his backpack on the ground, but Matt was gone. His footprints went a few steps into the woods and then stopped, completely vanished. Now it was just the three of us. But then something even more disturbing happened. The sun wouldn't set. We walked for hours under the same bright sky. Evening never came. Chris muttered, "This place doesn't want us to leave." Ryan whispered, "We're not in the same forest anymore." And then suddenly, hours later, the sun dipped. Darkness fell. We built another fire. But the whispers returned, louder this time. Only this time, they weren't coming from the trees. They were inside the circle of fire. Among us, I saw shadows, tall, thin figures staring right at us from across the flames. Chris stood and screamed, "Stay away!" And before we could react, he was yanked into the darkness. Gone. Now it was just me and Ryan. We ran, blind, desperate. Every path looped back to where we started, and then Ryan stumbled. I tried to help him up, but his eyes were empty, blank. And then, right in my hands, he slipped away, swallowed by the shadows. I wandered for what felt like days. No food, no water. Then suddenly I saw a road. I broke down, sobbing, running toward it. A passing family stopped their car, rushed me to a hospital. When the police questioned me, I told them everything. But they said, there are no hidden trails in those woods, and no records of anyone named Ryan, Chris, or Matt with you. My world shattered, even now. Some nights I still hear those whispers. And lost ones. Come back. And sometimes when I look in the mirror, I see three shadows standing behind me. Ryan, Chris, Matthew, they never left. That forest still has them. And one day, it's coming back for me too. Not every forest is meant for hiking. Some places are alive. They call you in and never let you out. So the next time you find a trail that isn't on the map, remember this: you might not return. Have you ever been in a forest so quiet it feels like the silence itself is alive? Where no birds sing, no insects buzz, and even the wind refuses to move through the trees? I have. It happened last summer. My four cousins and I, Ethan, Liam, Noah, Aiden, and Oliver, decided to go on a weekend camping trip. We grew up together and adventure had always been our thing. But this time, Ethan, the oldest and natural leader, said, "No more tourist spots. Let's do something real, something scary." Liam found a name online, Silent Pines. Oliver immediately said, "Silent Pines? That doesn't even sound like a normal place." Noah laughed. "Perfect. Maybe we'll meet Slenderman." But deep inside, we all felt something off. The drive we left around sunset. As the city disappeared behind us, the roads became narrower, lonelier, and the trees grew denser. By the time the sun was gone, the forest swallowed us whole. Oliver stared out the window and whispered, "Why does this place feel dead?" And he was right. No sound, no animals, just silence. Setting camp. We eventually found a small clearing and set up camp. Ethan and Liam pitched the tents. Noah joked around. Oliver sat nervously, and Aiden, the quiet one, just observed like he was calculating something. When we lit the fire, the glow gave us comfort. We laughed, roasted marshmallows, and tried to convince ourselves it was just another camping trip. But then Aiden said quietly, "Do you guys feel like the trees are watching us?" We laughed, but the darkness beyond the fire felt heavier. The first sign around 11 p.m. Oliver froze. "Did you hear that?" he whispered. We all went silent. Then from the forest came a faint whisper. "Ethan." Ethan stood up instantly. "Who the hell is there?" No reply. Then another whisper. "Noah." Noah stopped smiling. That's when we realized something was wrong with this place. We decided to sleep it off. But once in our tents, the whispers came again. "Aiden." "Oliver." My heart pounded. These voices weren't human. They sounded hollow, like they crawled out from inside the earth itself. I unzipped my tent and peeked outside. The fire had burned out. The forest was pitch black. That's when I saw it. A shadow between the trees. Tall, faceless, like it wasn't separate from the forest at all. Noah stepped out of his tent too, shaking. Bro, they're circling us. And then we heard it. Footsteps. Dozens of them moving around us. Ethan lit his flashlight and swept it across the trees. The moment the beam hit, the footsteps stopped. Shadows seemed to retreat. But the instant the light went down, the sounds came back. Oliver broke down crying. I don't want to be here anymore. Then, from the forest, came laughter. Not a man's, not a woman's. Something rotten. Ha, ha, ha. We spun our lights in every direction, but nothing was there. Then we turned back toward the campfire. Oliver's tent was gone. Not destroyed, not torn. Gone. The ground was completely clean, like the tent had never existed. Panic set in. Ethan told us to keep flashlights ready and stay together. But Oliver was hysterical. They took my tent. They'll take me next. Liam grabbed him, trying to calm him down. And then it happened. From the trees, Oliver's scream ripped through the night. Help! We shined our lights, but he was gone. No trace. Just silence again. Noah said, we need to leave now. Forget the tents. Let's just go. We grabbed our bags and started walking. But no matter which way we turned, the forest repeated itself. The same twisted tree, the same fallen log. Like silent pines wouldn't let us leave. Aiden's fate. By 3 a.m., exhausted, we circled back to the fire pit. Aiden sat there quietly, staring into the dark. Then he said something that made my blood run cold. They're not outside. They are the forest. And the next second, he was gone. No scream, no sound, just gone. Noah's end. Now it was only Ethan, Liam, and Noah. Noah had stopped joking entirely. He was pale, trembling. Then from the woods came a voice. Guys, over here! But it was Noah's voice. We all looked at him. He was right beside us. Noah whispered, That's my voice. And then before we could react, something yanked him into the darkness. His screams echoed, then cut off instantly. It was just Ethan and Liam now. We sat by the dying embers of the fire, too afraid to move. Then, fresh footprints appeared on the ground between us, step by step, as if something invisible was walking in the dirt. Liam shined his flashlight on them, muttering, It's not real. It can't be real. And then he was gone. No scream, no struggle. 1 second he was there, the next he wasn't. The final realization. Now it was only me. The forest around me felt alive. The trees leaned closer, their bark twisting like faces. And then I saw them, my cousins, Oliver, Aiden, Noah, Liam, all standing between the trees, their eyes blank white, their faces lifeless. And in unison, they whispered, Ethan, join us. I ran until my legs gave out. But no matter which way I went, I always came back to the same clearing. Silent Pines wasn't going to let me leave. The police never believed me. They found our bags, the fire pit, but not a single trace of my cousins. But I know the truth. They're still there, part of the forest now. And sometimes late at night, when I'm alone in bed, I still hear it. Ethan, Ethan,